Have you ever stopped to think about the secrets hiding just, beneath the surface,
Mm.
right where you live?
Mm.
What kind of mysteries might be lurking in plain sight, especially some way that seems, well, pretty ordinary, like the American heartland?
Right.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into Nebraska. Now, you might picture cornfields, maybe some cattle grazing. That's the usual image.
Sure, the classic view.
But as our sources show, Nebraska actually has this surprisingly rich and really varied paranormal landscape. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. And our mission here for this dive is to take this great collection of materials you've pulled together, everything from local travel guides to, dedicated paranormal investigation sites, and really peel back the layers.
Okay.
We're going to explore these chilling legends, the historical tragedies, these unexplained events that have actually earned Nebraska a reputation in some circles as a genuine hotbed of paranormal activity.
A hotbed. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. We'll look for, common threads, maybe some unique stories, and ultimately what these tales tell us about history, belief, and, well, maybe the echoes of really strong emotions.
All right, let's unpack this. We should probably start with some of the really chilling outdoor spots. Places where these deeply unsettling human stories seem to have just imprinted themselves onto the land itself.
Good place to start.
First up, there's the notorious Seven Sisters Road. It's near Nebraska City, over in Otoe County. Our sources are honestly remarkably consistent on this really gruesome urban legend.
Oh, yeah, this one's rough.
It's about a young man, sometimes they say he was a father, other times a brother, who back in the early 1900s, in some kind of fit of rage, just led his 7 sisters out to 7 different hills and hanged each one from a tree.
It's an absolutely horrifying image.
Right. Just chilling to even think about.
And what's really striking, I think, isn't just that the legend is consistent, but how the paranormal reports line up so closely with that specific horrific event. Well, drivers constantly report these completely inexplicable car problems on that road. Engines just stalling, headlights dimming or flickering out, windows rolling up and down by themselves.
Seriously, like modern cars.
Modern cars. And witnesses also claim they hear these blood-curdling screams, especially on dark nights. Some even describe seeing shadowy figures, sometimes with glowing red eyes.
Red eyes, okay, that's classic creepy.
It is. And there are often mentions of eerie bells ringing, apparently from a nearby cemetery. It just adds this whole other layer to the atmosphere. It's almost like the trauma from a century ago is actively messing with today's tech.
That's wild. The car trouble thing keeps coming up in these stories, doesn't it?
It does.
Why do you think that happens? Like a tragedy tied to a spot manifesting as messing with electronics, not just, seeing a ghost or hearing something. It feels like an energy that affects the physical, the electrical.
That's a really interesting question. In paranormal circles, people talk about residual hauntings, like an energy imprint, a playback of an event.
Right, like a recording.
Exactly. But when you get active interference, like the car issues, that leans more towards what we'd call an intelligent haunting. It suggests something conscious, maybe, interacting with the environment. The sheer emotional blast of an act that violent, it could maybe leave an energy signature strong enough to disrupt electrical fields. Perhaps it's, a projection of the spirit's own rage or confusion.
That makes a chilling kind of sense. Okay, so from one tragic road, let's head west to Devil's Canyon near McCook, another spot marked by absolute desperation. Over 100 years ago, a man took his wife and children there.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
To end their lives and his own.
Yeah.
Just heartbreaking.
And if we stick with that idea of intense emotions leaving an imprint, it fits perfectly that the man's ghost, who they call the Duke locally, is apparently still roaming around there.
The Duke, huh?
Yeah. Visitors report him playing tricks, causing mischief, and again, here it is, making cars malfunction.
There it is again.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It echoes Seven Sisters Road, almost like tragedy, especially that sudden, violent kind, creates this lingering energy that messes with the physical world, especially engines and lights. Makes you wonder if extreme emotions resonate at frequencies that disrupt technology.
It's a pattern worth noting, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift to a place with even deeper roots, really tied into the land's narrative. Blackbird Hill. It's in the Anderson-Decatur area now.
Ah, yes. Chief Blackbird's burial site.
Exactly. But the main haunting our sources focus on involves a woman murdered way back in 1849. The story is her jealous husband killed her after she confessed she still loved an old flame, that he jumped off a cliff with her body into the Missouri River.
Talk about dramatic. That definitely sets the stage for a powerful haunting.
Absolutely. And what's really remarkable here, and speak to how strong that event must have been is this specific environmental detail.
Go on.
The path from where her cabin supposedly stood to the cliff edge, it's still barren. No plants grow there, even after, over 170 years now.
Wow. That's a literal scar on the landscape.
Right. And every single year, on October 17th, the anniversary of her death, people report hearing her blood-curdling screams.
Every year.
Apparently. Now, it's on restricted land, so you can only see it from a distance. But the legend, the screams, the path, they're still very much part of the local lore.
That persistent yearly scream, it sounds like a classic residual haunting. Like a tape playing over and over, etched right into the place itself.
That barren path, the annual scream, it's almost too perfect for a ghost story, isn't it? Makes it clear that places soaked in suffering really hold on to it.
Definitely.
But what about when that intense grief, that heartbreak, doesn't find peace even in death? Our next story, Hannah's grave in Plattsmouth, is just incredibly sad. A 16-year-old girl in the 1800s.
Oh, Hannah. Yes, a very poignant one.
Her parents drowned her baby, told her it was stillborn. She died, completely understandably, of a broken heart.
And this feels like a classic reef haunting. Visitors consistently report hearing Hannah crying for her baby.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. Sometimes they even see a lantern light, like she's still searching, trapped in that moment of loss. It really highlights how intense emotional pain, especially tied to injustice, can bind a spirit, leaving this echo of sorrow.
From Hannah's specific grief, let's go to a different kind of charged space. A cemetery that sounds anything but restful. Ball Cemetery in Springfield.
Right.
It dates back to at least 1869.
Right.
And it's known as a real hotspot for ghost sightings.
Yeah.
Not just quiet feelings, but like actual activity.
Oh, it absolutely is. The claims are all over the place, a whole spectrum of phenomena. There's one spirit, Mary Mumford, who supposedly tugs on people's clothes.
Tugs on clothes.
Yeah, and her voice and laughter are apparently heard too. Then there's this tall male ghost, supposedly has a bad temper, even attacks visitors sometimes.
Attacks them. Okay, that's stepping it up.
Definitely more aggressive. And then you get the really weird physical stuff. Gravestones tipping over, then writing themselves.
Wait, what? Writing themselves.
That's the report. And people capturing what they call ectoplasmic mists in photos, those unexplained foggy patches some believe are, raw spiritual energy. It's a really unsettling mix of interactions happening there.
Ectomist and self-writing tombstones?
Wow.
That's a busy cemetery. Sounds like a crossroads for different energies.
Seems that way.
Okay, our last outdoor spot for this section is Hummel Park Nature Center in Omaha. Beautiful views, apparently, but also some incredibly dark stories, including a place called Devil's Slide, known for suicides because of sudden drop-offs.
Yeah.
And there's a rumor it's built on an ancient Native American burial ground.
Right, so that adds this deeply layered, potentially volatile history right from the start. The twisted trees in the park, they're said to be where lynchings happen.
Oh, God.
Yeah, people report hearing screams late at night, another layer of human cruelty on the landscape. And even more disturbing are reports of strange markings, dead animals found, suggesting possible satanic rituals.
Rituals, too.
That's what some sources suggest. So you combine ancient burial grounds, multiple layers of tragedy, possible malevolent activity. You get an incredibly potent, energetic mix.
Okay, that's a lot for one park.
It is indeed. So we've covered these really intense outdoor spaces, but it's definitely not just the wilderness holding on to history. Lots of Nebraska's oldest buildings seem to have lingering residents, too.
Right, the structures themselves.
Exactly. Let's dive into some of those. Take the Alliance Theater in Alliance. Opened early 1900s, was a hotel for a bit, historic place.
And it's haunted by?
Haunted by Mary,
Right.
an actress who died instantly in a freak accident. A piece of lighting equipment, some say a chandelier, fell on her while she was on stage, dressed as a bride.
Oh, wow. Talk about a dramatic exit.
Truly, a classic tragic theater ghost story. But the activity reported there really goes beyond the basics.
Okay.
Theater staff report shadows, footsteps, flickering lights. Pretty standard stuff, right?
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
But here's where it gets unique. Mary's ghost is supposedly seen sitting in the audience or wandering the theater in her wedding gown. And get this, items get moved, sometimes they get cleaned.
Leaned, a helpful ghost.
Apparently. One source mentions a custodian setting a popcorn trap under a seat overnight. Next morning, popcorn's gone, vanished.
A tidy spirit. That's almost charming in a creepy way. What does that detail suggest to you? About her energy or personality.
It's fascinating, right? Because it implies more than just a lingering presence, maybe a personality quirk. It goes beyond generic footsteps and gives Mary this sense of agency, even mischievousness. Could be a residual habit, maybe she was really neat. Or it could be an intelligent haunting, a spirit interacting, maybe trying to help. Or just making its presence known in a, well, polite but unsettling way. It really humanizes the haunting, doesn't it?
The polite poltergeist, I love it.
Okay.
Okay, next, a much grander, more solemn place. The Nebraska State Capitol in Lincoln, built on land considered holy by Native Americans. And it's seen several major tragedies during its time. 2 workers died in separate accidents changing light bulbs in stairwells.
Terrible luck.
Another man fell stringing Christmas lights, and Roy Kohler fell from the 14th floor. It's not just one incident, it's a pattern of fatal falls.
Exactly. And that cumulative weight, the emotional impact of multiple deaths, seems to have really soaked into the building. Our sources mention a specific ghost tied to a janitor, Thomas Dennison, who died after a long illness. He supposedly haunts the halls.
Okay.
But the most frequent and honestly distressing reports are about a mist. Seen halfway up the steps to the 12th floor, it then falls to the 1st floor and vanishes, like it's replaying the falls.
Wow, like a visual echo?
Precisely. And near those specific stairwells, people report hearing terrible sounds, screaming, crying, muffled voices. It's a really somber echo of those lost lives, a tangible feel of their final moments.
That mist.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful imagery. Really drives home that idea of a place holding on to trauma. Let's move to Centennial Hall in Valentine. Nebraska's oldest school building, 1897, now a museum.
Right.
The story here is so specific and sad. In 1944, a young girl died, poisoned by a reed on her clarinet.
Just tragic. And what's heartbreaking but also compelling is how her presence reportedly continues. Her apparition has been seen.
The girl herself.
Yes. And visitors feel uneasy in certain areas, even eerier. Music has been heard coming from the music room, even after they took all the instruments out.
No way. Music from an empty room.
That's the claim. It really emphasizes that idea of a spirit being bound to the place of their last moments, especially unexpected ones. Maybe her love for music or the instrument itself just anchored her there.
Speaking of places where objects in history create unsettling vibes, we have to talk about the Museum of Shadows.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Our sources say it's packed with over 3,000 haunted objects. Haunted dolls, old medical things, Ouija boards, you name it.
It's got a serious reputation. Featured on the Travel Channel, Amazon Prime, Paranormal caught on camera. They call it one of the most haunted museums in the world.
Now, our sources give conflicting locations, so we'll just say it's a well-known, very active museum in Nebraska. What stands out to you about the activity reported there?
It's the sheer intensity and the variety. Visitors report being physically touched, hearing distinct voices, seeing objects move right in front of them.
Actual physical contact.
That's what people report. We're talking poltergeist activity, the noisy ghost stuff, objects moving, sounds with no source. They've apparently even caught some of it on security cameras.
Gone on camera. Wow.
Yeah. And there are these 2 dolls, Demas and Ida, apparently very active, particularly notorious. Plus, the building itself is historic, from 1880. Housed a pharmacy, doctor's office, saloon, even a brothel.
So layers upon layers.
Exactly. Layers of human history, possibly with their own ghosts, adding to the energy from all those collected haunted items. It's an incredible concentration.
A poltergeist on camera and notorious dolls. Okay, definitely bring your EMF meter if you visit.
You might need it.
All right, our last stop in this building section takes us literally underground to Robbers Cave in Lincoln. This place isn't just one story. It's like a historical junction box.
It really is. A network of tunnels used by Native American tribes originally, a stop on the Underground Railroad. And famously, Jesse James supposedly hid out there in 1876.
Quite the resume.
And the paranormal activity reflects that dense history. Visitors report hearing blood-curdling screams, unpedaling laughter, disembodied voices, even distant drums and chants, maybe an echo of its Native American past.
Distant chants. Wow.
In the deep part, Robber's Roost, people claim to see dark figures moving at unnatural speeds. And there are these persistent rumors about sealed-off tunnels leading to the state penitentiary, adds another layer of mystery, potential energy from desperate people.
With a history that rich and often dark, you'd almost expect a lot of different energies to be swirling around down there.
Exactly. It's almost inevitable.
Okay, so we've hit these grand, historic, often tragic spots. But hauntings aren't always in those kinds of places, are they? Sometimes the supernatural shows up in really ordinary locations, catches you totally off guard.
Absolutely. The mundane can be just as haunted.
Let's look at a few. Like the John Rice Library in Bellevue. What's going on there?
This library is apparently haunted by two figures. A young girl, maybe 10, dark hair, big round glasses, and an elderly man seen crouching over books.
Just reading.
Seems like it. It's kind of poignant, isn't it? A reminder that spirits might linger in places tied to their everyday lives, their interests, maybe still pursuing passions, a quieter haunting.
It's almost sweet in a way, but then you get the really unexpected, like the Columbus Hy-Vee. Yes, the supermarket.
Right. The supermarket ghost.
It's haunted by someone known as Scooter. His ghost apparently makes screeching sounds near the dairy and produce section.
Screeching sounds. Weird.
And appears to employees around 2 a.m. It just proves, I guess, that no place is too mundane if a spirit decides to stick around, even the frozen food aisle.
And that's what makes Scooter so interesting. The sheer everydayness of the location. Why there? Was he an employee? A regular customer? It's such a contrast to the big tragedies. It reminds us hauntings aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they're just about lives that didn't quite leave.
Didn't quite clock out, maybe.
It would be.
And finally, we land at Mystery Manor in Omaha, built 1887. Private home of Greta and William Hall. William lost everything in the 29 crash, went mad, attacked Greta with an axe, buried her in the yard.
It's horrific.
And then a week later, Greta's brother finds out, comes over, uses the same axe on William, and buries him right next to Greta.
Shakespearean doesn't even cover it. That's pure, raw vengeance and tragedy. And that history has absolutely made the manor famously haunted.
You'd expect nothing less, really.
The sheer intensity, despair, rage, violence, revenge, it undoubtedly bound their spirits there, created this terrifying, lingering legacy, the brutality, the unresolved nature. It leaves a psychic residue that's almost impossible to ignore. And it highlights that intelligent aspect, too. These likely aren't just echoes, but spirits, still aware, still active.
What a story.
So after going through all of this incredible journey across Nebraska's haunted spots, what does it all mean?
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
We've seen this amazing spectrum, haven't we? From those deeply tragic historical events like Seven Sisters Road or Blackbird Hill, to the presences in public buildings like the Capitol or the Alliance Theater, even the more quirky stuff in the Hy-Vee or Robber's Cave.
Right.
The accounts consistently seem to stem from sudden, violent, or deeply emotional deaths and events. It strongly suggests that intense feelings, or maybe unfinished business, really can anchor a spirit to a place.
That connection seems undeniable.
And it's fascinating how consistent some stories are across different sources, even giving different angles on the same core legend. It shows how deeply these tales are woven into the places themselves, shaping their identity. Now, for listeners who follow this stuff, the idea of emotional energy binding a spirit, that's pretty standard theory.
Yeah.
But what about those specific details we hit? The barren path, the yearly scream, Mary's tidy ghost, the car's malfunctioning. Do our sources give clues about what kind of energy that implies? Residual versus intelligent? Or maybe something in between? It pushes you to think about the nuances, how these things actually manifest.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground, haven't we? This deep dive really shows how many layers of history and mystery are just under the surface in the Cornhusker State.
Yeah.
It's way more than just flat plains and farms, isn't it? It feels like a landscape, really charged with these untold stories.
It absolutely does. And whether you're a total skeptic or a firm believer, these stories, they kind of invite us to think about the echoes of the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
The enduring power of human tragedy, of memory.
Makes you wonder.
It really does. They force us to grapple with the imprint left by intense human experiences. What kind of energy truly does remain when a life ends suddenly or with so much sorrow?
So what stands out most to you listening to all this? And maybe more intriguingly, what hidden histories might be waiting right where you live, in the places you pass every day? A local park, maybe an old building downtown, even just a quiet corner in your own neighborhood. Perhaps there's a legend just waiting for someone to notice it again. A history that really wants to be heard, shaping the very air you breathe.